Well, howdy, folks. This is your genial host, Spiffy G, coming at you live from Texas. And we have just begun qualifying here in the Same Car Sunday Round 2, driving the Wicked Fabrication 51 Ford Custom Coupe. Currently, with about 8 minutes to go in qualifying, we have Willie Ham well into the lead with a 48.5 second go around this Indy circuit. We are at Brands Hatch again in beautiful Kent, England, a place I've never been but would love to visit someday. I've heard it's quite grand. Yes, indeed, we are on the IndyCar circuit, the short one, and cuts the track a little more than in half. Shaped a little bit like a warped kidney bean. Fun track to go around, especially in slower cars. This car, not so slow, maybe even a bit of a handful. We are sporting the racing soft tires today. The drivers aren't required to drive on dirt this time, so I'm sure it's to the great relief of everyone. Last week's race was interesting. It was fun. It was filled with carnage. Well, today I was supposed to have Marky B on the live stream with me. Unfortunately, he had other matters to take care of, so it is just me flying solo. I am hoping to get a ping from one or two friends who might want to join in. So if you're listening, guys, feel free to pop on. I've got a party chat open for you. Would love to have some company on this live stream. So today's race, as indicated earlier, is at Brands Hatch on the Indy circuit. We are doing 3 sprints, 15 minutes each. We have 1 round of qualifying, which of course we are currently in. And my keyboard is not working, so give me a moment. Let's see what's what here. I'll try to wake this bad boy up and see if, yes, there we go. All right. It has risen from the dead. Anywho, we're going to be doing 3 sprints. We have 1 round of qualifying. In the first race, the fastest qualifier, currently that's Willie Ham, will go to pole position. Start from the front row. After that, we go last is first, first is last. And we do that for the next 2 sprints. Makes the race a little bit more interesting since our fastest drivers have to work their way through the field and they have 15 minutes to do so. Today we have 6 drivers on the track. We were hoping to get a 7th, but again, we had 1 drop off at the last minute due to unforeseen circumstances, so it's just 6 of us today. as Ginger Ninja puts in his best time. Ginger Ninja being SLDH 2015. I'm going to change this display here so we can look at their nicknames. It's a little bit easier for me. There we go. Yeah, they make a little bit more sense for me this way. So there's Willie Hammond first. Fire Woodman putting in a blazing time, only a little more than half a second behind Willie's already epic time with a 49.0. We have Wolf coming at you live from Germany, and he is just 2300ths of a second behind Keith. Keith Fire Woodman Madge. Behind him with a little less than half a second is the old Ginger Ninja himself, Simon Horbury. Robert Sarkezi in fifth, just a third of a second, actually less than that behind Ginger Ninja, and Justin just a tick behind him. Very tight field indeed, 1.5 seconds separating all of the drivers. And that is the beauty of Same Car Sunday. Every car is exactly the same, minus the livery, of course, which is, that's up to you as a driver, what you're willing to do to your poor car to make it cool, fancy, or funny. In Justin's case, he just went all out on the Yankee livery right there with the flames, the glowing blue paint job, the wild colors. Just an epic ride. And Willie decided to go all out too with the dare I say, the Flaming Cheetos livery. Nicely done. I like the yellow headlights. Does look a little bit like a catfish when it's coming straight at you. And Keith, who normally sports that same livery with the West Country Firewood logo, his business, by the way. If you ever need firewood out in the West Country of jolly old, you need to give Keith a call. But what? Oh, Keith thinks he's in last week's race today, apparently. Keith has added quite a number of new tattoos to his lovely red masterpiece. So well done. Nice to add a little bit of bling where you can. As Justin sets a new better lap and jumps to fifth. That is a very cool livery from Wolf. Dare say at my age, I don't know what it refers to, but I like it. I think it may refer to something I can't talk about on YouTube, but yeah, well done. Very cool job. The black matte paint really works for those colors. It really pops out. And back to Justin. What's Glava wearing today? Oh, yeah. What has Glava got on? It looks like he's gone with the orange and blue. Most often you see him sporting the logo, the livery that matches his flag, his country's flag. Glava being from Croatia. A lovely place, so I'm told. He's gone, yeah, with a full STP livery. He's gone 100% American there. Very iconic brand. That was the team that Mario Andretti had working for him in the pits under the auspices of Mr. Andy Granatelli back in 1969, the one and only time that Mario won the Indy 500. Which is very fitting for this track, because IndyCar ran on this track for a few years. I believe that ended back in the 90s. I don't have the information in front of me right now, but I believe it ended in the late 90s, maybe the early 2000s. I don't quite remember. Would love to see IndyCar come back to this track. Unfortunately, they don't race outside of the U.S. and Canada. They were hoping to get a race in Mexico, but it never really panned out. So, 14 minutes and 43 seconds into qualifying. We're just about near the end here. Justin has bumped up to fifth and isn't relinquishing that spot. Glava is trying like the dickens to get around, but if he can't make it to the start-finish line pretty quick, then this is going to be it. Yep, his lap is pinned. So Glava is going to drop down to sixth position. He'll start at the end of the third row. Willingham is just cruising away right now in first position for qualifying. He will take the front row. Probably line up on the outside. Nice little slide, Willie. Way into the pits. No, perhaps. Nope, into the wall instead. Nice. Willie decided he wanted to take the barrier. And Wolf is comfortably into second position. And 0.124 behind him is Ginger Ninja. Burned his wheels off. Glava shoots past. Does not improve his time. Looks like we still have a couple cars out on the track. Trying to finish up here. Well, I believe I was mistaken. I thought we were on the final lap and that was going to be it. That everybody crossed the start-finish line, but that does not appear to be the case. We got a few people out there trying to put down a fast lap. Who do we got? Nope. Everybody's done. Qualifying's over. And it is what it is. So, as the last cars cross the start-finish line, let me see if I can bring up a little bit of information for y'all. Pardon me while I take a quick break. All right, while we wait for Justin to get the race started, let's take a look at the standings real quick. This is what happened last week. We had Mick Toasty just run away with it and won every single race, 2 of them from the back. And Splatter in second place for each race. Fire Woodman got a couple of podiums and a 4th place finish. So right now, that is where we stand. McToasty, Splatter, and Fire Woodman round out the top 3. You can see the rest. We're about to start the race, so I'm going to get this mess out of the way, and we're going to get going. And here we go. Lights are out, and we are off. And for some reason, we are not getting an audio feed. So pardon me while I work that part out. All right, we got Willie Ham running away from it. I don't know why we're not getting any sound. I'll work on that later. Right now, let's get back to the race here. We got Willie Ham well into the lead. Ginger Ninja and Wolf battling through Surtees, trying to get that position squared away. And Justin goes a little bit wide. Justin just popped into 4th place, just past Keith. who has worked his way back. He's going backward just a little bit. Glava's still in the rear, not too far back. Everybody coming down Paddock Hill Bend now. So far, no. I spoke too soon. I was going to say nobody off in the gravel, but Ginger Ninja decided to defy the commentator and ran off into the dirt. So Ginger's gone back to the end. Now Glava's gotten pushed out of the way nicely by Ginger Ninja, and Glava gives him a little love tap there. And Ginger comes a little bit unsettled, but he's back on track again and making a race of it. On back to the front here, we got Wolf now 2.5 seconds behind. Willingham just takes off and starts running his own race. We got Justin just behind Wolf, and Glava 3.5 seconds behind Justin. He and Fire Woodman now are making a game of it. Fire Woodman gets the inside down Paddock Hill, trying his hardest not to push him off, and he succeeds. Nicely done. Good driving. So Keith now pushes up into 4th position, but it's a real battle going on here for 4th. It's all about the points in this series. You don't have to win every race, but you do have to show up and you have to place as well as you can. And Keith goes off, doesn't get an advantage going into the grass. In fact, he loses a spot momentarily, but he's back and forth. But Ninja finds an opening, decides to poke his nose in there, and Fire Woodman promptly chops it off. And now he takes off. Goes from less than 1/10 of a second now to more than 1/2 a second. Beautifully done. Takes every speck of the track to get through, but then Ginger Ninja finds some speed down the hill. Whoa. Well, coming through Druids, they are nose to tail. As the 3 cars up front gain a lot of separation between themselves, this is where the race is really happening. So I'm going to focus on this. For some reason, we are not getting... there we go. There's the audio. All right. Problem solved. But, Ginger Ninja and Fire Woodman side by side. What a battle. And now things seem to be getting a little bit spicy up front. Let's take a look up front, see what's happening here in 1st position. This thing is going to behave itself. Jump back to the front here. I'm going to have to use my controller to do this. So it looks like Willingham went back a little bit. Now Wolf is on his tail with less than a second behind. So Wolf should be well into the slipstream at this point, which will definitely give him a bigger advantage, though he goes slow down Paddock Hill. Looks like he was afraid he was going to lose it and go off into the kitty litter. He did save the car, but it cost him time. So on lap 6, Willie has just run his best first sector. Wolf trying to get back in the hunt. He had a good thing going there for a minute, but now he's fallen back. Justin about 3.5 seconds behind, comfortably in 3rd position at the moment. Fire Woodman, Glava, and Ginger are still in a great battle for 4th position. Keith has pulled away a little bit, but Glava is still reeling him in. As they come down the front straight, Ninja dropping back just a tick. And now he goes off into the gravel. He was coming a little too hot down the hill and he beached it. So now it's a race between Keith and Robert for 4th position. Keith just running a good steady race. He knows that car can be a handful. So he's trying to keep it off the curbs, it looks like. And now he's starting to gain on Justin. He's picked up a second and a half in very short order. I think that was in just over a lap. And he is gaining rapidly. I'm not sure what may have happened to Justin here a little while ago. Don't have the joy of a replay button at the moment. So now Keith has created quite a bit of separation from the two cars in the back. And his focus now is entirely on that blue flamey livery just ahead of him. And 10th by 10th, slowly but surely reeling in Justin now in front of the paddock. Can he get within a second here on the big downhill? He cannot. Justin gets a great drive off the corner as he comes down, picks up 2 more tenths of a second. So Fire Woodman has his work cut out for him. Keith's driving a great race, but Justin has a lot of familiarity with this track. So back here, it looks like Jinja is having his troubles here. I gotta give it a nice little power slide through Druids. But it's only race 1. There is plenty of time yet. So this is a good practice round for Simon. Justin's still hanging on to that better than a second lead. But now down Paddock Hill, Keith gets a great run coming down and nips off another 2 tenths. Coming in through Graham Hill, Justin goes into a power slide. Gets through clean. We got a yellow flag. Who's off? Let's go to P2. Oh, it looks like. Who was that? That wasn't Willie. Somebody just went off. Maybe that was Ninja. Yeah, I think that was Ninja that went off there and caused the yellow flag. Now, Willie's checked out. 5-second lead. Wolf with an even greater 9-second lead over Justin, who is just hanging on by the skin of his teeth as Keith stays stuck in his rear view, looking for a way around, trying to get into Justin's head. Nothing doing, says Justin. We're going to keep this race on. We're going to keep this race on track here. As both of them tuck in to Graham Hill, nice and tidy. Well, friends, this is where your fun's happening on the track. As these boys are battling like a couple of old prize fighters. Justin takes a wide angle, looking for a way to cut that corner tight and get himself some extra speed around the corner, which he does. But so does Keith. And I dare say even a little bit more, because now Keith is a third of a second and closing into Surtees with plenty of slipstream. We go through this wonderful twisty section here. Keith is right on his tailpipe, but gets a little bit loose. And boy, that cost him. That cost him half a second. Just that minor fumble. This is, as Mark said the last time we were going around this track last Thursday. So the greatest fear is getting the wheels off just a little bit past the curbs. You get into that tall grass, and it'll finish your race. So what each driver needs to do, and these drivers being experienced know to do, is to try to stay off that grass if at all possible. You can get up on this AstroTurf, you know, a little bit of fake grass coming up in some of these corners, and that's fine. You get into that natural grass, and you are going to be asking for trouble, because that car will become a handful, especially these old cars. Justin still hanging on to third place. We're on lap 14. Got about 4 minutes to go before this race is finished. Not Justin. Fire Woodman's trying to find a way inside. Looking for a way to get that nose around somewhere. He's thinking, well, maybe he can take the outside, and he does. Momentarily gets a good push off that corner. So taking the outside was the move. And Keith nails it. Absolutely nails it. And jumps ahead into podium position. Can he hang on in the twisties and keep Justin at bay? Well, so far so good for Keith. But Justin's setting in his slipstream with just a third of a second separating the two. And we come down Paddock Hill. This is where Justin can get a good run off the corner. Justin does take the preferred line, but it doesn't accrue to his benefit as Keith gets a good jump as well. So, keeping that half-second distance down Paddock Hill. Now through Druids. Justin's still keeping it close. Apologies to the other drivers for not putting the focus on them as much. This is where the race is happening, so we're going to stay here on the field. But what an epic pass by Keith. That was a low percentage move, taking the outside in Druids. He didn't get what looked like a great jump off the corner, but he had so much speed that he carried around the outside. And that, I think, forced Justin into the curb a little bit more than he might have wanted. But whatever it was an absolutely brilliant move by the Firewoodman. Back again through Druids. The corner Keith seems to absolutely own at the moment. Oh, way up on the AstroTurf. Justin gets a little slidey, though. So he's not able to take care of that small mistake and gain an advantage. Both of them nicely through the twisties and on into the front straight. Justin trying to keep in that slip. And takes his toe around Paddock Hill Bend on down the hill. Nobody's off into the sand. Now Keith taking the tighter line through Druids. Both of them looking neat through Graham Hill. Justin taking the tight line on the curb. Too much curb, and off he goes. Oh, goodness. Well, that is not going to benefit Justin. Let's take a look and see what happened just then. So Justin's looking good, but then he takes too much of that high curve. Just sends him flying into the barrier. Oh, he must be gutted. It was a great run up until then. Still ensconced in fourth position. The only harm he took was getting behind, so far behind Keith, but it didn't hurt his position any. He'll get the same points with just 14 seconds left to go in regular time. Willingham comes on down Paddock Hill, gets a little bit of dirt on his tires. None the worse for it as he passes through Druids. Kicks out the rear end just a little bit. On through Graham Hill, into Surtees. Looking just as neat and clean as can be. And everybody from third place on it looks like has finished their race. So we just have P1 and P2 to resolve. With a 10-second gap, I think we know where this is going. Coming in past the paddock to the start-finish line. Big flash of the lights for Willie. Congratulations on winning race 1. And Wolfie crosses the line in P2. And there, folks, is your race. Willie P1, Wolf P2, Firewoodman P3. Firewoodman pulling a rabbit out of a hat with that beautiful run through the Druids. What a race. I know it was a race for third position, but you know, you go where the battles are. And that was a beauty. So congratulations, Willie, on pole and victory. Tough place to get a clean race, but you pulled off a beauty nonetheless. Promise I will not put any more boards up. We're just going to watch this race in its entirety. Both feet pegged to the floor, waiting for those lights to go out. Everybody hammering those throttles, champing at the bit. Nobody false starts this time. Firewoodman there on row 3 had a little bit of a slide coming through. So now you get side by side of Glavicon through Paddock Hill. Everybody trying to stay focused in line, not push anybody off or go off on their own. Quite successfully. Everybody clean through the first 2 turns. Ginger goes way outside onto the thick grass. As he tries to get some speed out of Graham Hill, he just loses it. Lava up in third. Ninja back on the throttle. Wolf a second ahead of Justin, who's got almost 2 seconds on Glava. Glava well and comfortably ahead of the back 3, but boy, are they making a race of it. As Ginger loses his spot, but stays right in the hunt. Keith on the inside, can't quite make it stick. Then the car gets all wild on him. Oh, that was Ninja's car. Ninja's getting a little bit slap happy there. But he refocuses and gets that car tucked in behind Keith. So the race for third is on, and it's just about everybody. Let's get on back to the front here and see how Justin and Wolf are faring. So with all the battling going on at the back, Wolf and Justin are able to take off and focus on each other. But the real fun is happening back here coming out of Druids. Good heavens. Let's see if everybody stays on the straight and narrow. And they do. They get a little bit astroturfy. Everybody keeping it together. Willie Ham is now on Glava's pipes and looking for a way to stick that catfish face in there and push on into third place. Glava going slightly defensive there for the moment, but decides to back out of it. He does not want to get too much speed going into Paddock Hill and ruin his race and everybody else's. So Glava tucks back into fourth. Willie takes third. Glava finds a way in. Momentarily picks up third position. Willie goes a little bit wide. Regroups. And comes out of Graham Hill right back where he started. Third position. And now Ginger's on Firewoodman. Trying to gain a spot. Firewoodman defending hard. And now Glava is looking at Firewoodman's headlights in his rear view. Boy, all 3 of them got a fight on their hands. Ninja looking to poke his face in there. Can't quite do it. Getting a little bit screechy. Jumping off the curb. Yeah, this race for fourth is on. Man. And Firewoodman gets the inside track. Picks up a little too much grass. slightly unsettles the car, so it sets him back in behind Glava. Loses maybe a tenth and a half. Through Paddock Hill, all the cars line up. Glava goes wide, just misses going into the beach, but gets a wonderful run into Druids. Look at this race for 5th place. Fire Woodman would very much like to get on Glava's tail, and too much of a fight happening in there behind him. Glava goes wide. Ninja takes his spot away from him. Fire Woodman looks to replace Glava in 5th position. So far, nothing doing, but now Glava gets the inside on Paddock Hill Bend. Smokes around him. Takes away 5th position. Now looking for the inside track on Ginger Ninja. Glavis is not so fast. I'm in this race too. Oh, and Glava is off! Glava gets up on the curb, sends his car sideways and off into the grass. Let's go on back to P2 here. It is now a fight for 1st position. Justin hanging on to 1st place now, relinquished by Wolf. Wolf got passed up by Will. So now Wolf is fighting to stay in 3rd place, as Ginger Ninja has decided to pour it on, because Ninja went from way back in last place to within a second of the podium halfway through the race. It's a lot of brilliant maneuvering by these drivers, and I dare say a few mistakes have turned this into a real race. So there's Willie now on Justin. Willie putting down his usual 48s and 49s, even from the back of the pack. Keep in mind, Will has had to bust his way through 4 other cars to get to where he is right now, and still putting down 48s and 49s. And Justin just trying to hang on. There's only a few minutes left in this race. Justin taking the inside there. Gets a little wild, trying to go defensive. Chops the nose off of that flaming Cheeto. And picks up a couple tenths of space for his trouble. Beautifully done. Now trying to keep it tight. Nice and tidy down the hill. And Wolf goes a little wide, but stays on it. And now Ninja looking for a way to poke his nose in. He thinks he can get Wolf. Willie goes wide. Wolf goes a little wild. Still maintains his grip and now gets on the inside of Justin coming through that last turn. Says, let's go inside. Nope, nothing there. Let's try outside. Nothing there. Justin defends nicely. And now Willie takes the inside line of Paddock Hill Bend. Wisely backs out, knowing that if he continues on that trajectory, he takes both of them out. Justin tight through Druids. It is a 5-way race for the podium. Everybody nice and tidy through Surtees, now through the Wigglies. Ninja hanging on, pushing so hard on those thumb controls. He's hitting his flasher. Hitting his flasher every time he nails those right-hander. He's pushing so hard. on those controls. And Wolf looking for a way around the outside. Not a great spot for that most days. With this epic battle at the rear, and at the front, it's chopping a lot of time off of these guys. Because we got Justin with a 50. We got Willie, who's usually in the 48s, with a 50. Jinja, who's hopped into third position, now looking to take over second from Will. And, oh, Will gets into some kind of a spin there. Hangs on, stays in third place, but only barely. And now Wolf gets on the throttle and pushes past for the moment. Will says nothing doing. Wolf goes a little bit wide. Didn't get pushed off. Clearly was trying to make room. So now we got a race for first position. Really happening. Jinja goes into first position temporarily. Gets a little wide. Trying to find the outside line on Justin. Nothing doing there. Justin closes it off. Defends brilliantly. Hanging on to that inside line. I told you Jinja is fast. Now keep in mind, he and Justin are both working on controllers while the rest of the field, I think, is racing on wheels. Maybe mistaken. Wolf may be on sticks as well. And Wolf gets a little wild back there. Jinja right on his pipe. Willie right on his. Everybody nose to tail in the front four. Absolutely cracking race. Normally this is a position you're going to see Will Hamilton in, where he's pushing hard on the front runner. You got Jinja taking that spot right now. Willie is not done yet, not by any stretch. So now Jinja's having to focus on Will behind him, trying to stave him off as he simultaneously focuses on Justin, trying to get P1 away from him. Justin goes defensive to Druids. Nice tight line. Everybody having to stay back just a touch. And now Willie Hamilton finds the inside line and pulls out and gets an inside line on Justin. Now Justin's going to have to fight through Surtees to stay on track. Does so for the moment. With the inside line, Justin just hangs on to first position. And Will tucks in behind. So what's he going to do now coming down Paddock Hill? Is Willie going to take the inside line? Because that didn't work out so well for him last time. And no, he backs out. Lives to fight another day. Man, oh man, this is tight. Jinja and Willie work their way around. Now Willie gets into the front. And just manages to eke his way past Justin, who is now in second position and fighting for his racing life against Wolf, who just got past the Ninja. I don't know what happened there, but I think we're going to have to go back and have a look at that. What has happened to Ninja, who was vying hard for second position? He and Justin get into a nice tussle, and then Jinja goes wide. And that, my friends, was that. All right, back to the front with just 1 minute and 20 seconds left. Still anybody's race for second place, as Willie just runs away once again. Interesting that it took him 16 laps to get there. Normally by lap 8 or 9, he's already somewhere near the front. But this was a real fight. Great battle from Justin. But now he's checked out. So here's Justin trying to stave off Wolf, who's running a terrific race. Ginger just trying to hang on, trying to find him a podium spot after running just a brutally fast race. Fire Woodman well in behind the rest of them. Glava has found his way to the back, trying to get up on Fire Woodman, with just seconds to go. Now Justin's pulled away just a wee bit. He's now 8/10 and pulling away from Wolf. Taking those corners tight. Oh man, took it too tight. And getting up over on that grass slowed Justin way down. He needed to hang on to that car. But he hangs on to second place. Ninja just sweeps past and picks up P3. Let's have a look at that. Oh my goodness. Just a sneaky move around that last corner. And barely takes that spot away. Wolf gave it everything he had to try to get into P3, but nothing doing. Great race, folks. Wow. Terrific. And I didn't even put up a secondary screen for you to miss it. So, that's off to me. All right, let's get away from the replay screen. That race is over, but oh my goodness. What a battle. My. And Willie finishes his races, and the last two races, gets P1. The only one on the lead lap. Congratulations, Will. Great race. Great race, everybody. Boy, terrific race between all the drivers there, between 2 through 6. And everybody put in one hell of an entertaining session. Justin manages to hang on to second place. Don't know how. Some great defense. Really made it happen for him, I think. And Ginger Ninja, man, things went all kinds of wrong for him, and yet somehow he manages to pull out a podium position there at the end and save his day. And as you can see, Justin, not even one of the fastest best laps, and still picks up second position. Just goes to show consistency matters. Just a brilliant race. Well done on everybody's part. Just terrific. Really entertaining. So much fun to watch. Stay tuned here in a little while. I will call race 2 from round 2 because I did put a splash screen up and did bonk the race in the middle. I just got too excited and was looking at the wrong screen. So my apologies to everybody. Anyway, stay tuned for race 2. Be coming up shortly. Folks, have a great day. Thanks for joining the stream. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Have a great week. Bye-bye.